If it is, in fact, Tuesday, checks iPhone to be sure. Yes, it is. It's Election Day, and voters are casting their ballots in 5 state primaries right now. The flagship race is in Michigan, where Democrats are hoping to hold on to their Senate seat. And today's primary is pitting establishment-backed Haley Stevens against progressive Abdul El-Sayed. The race has become something of a proxy fight between the two factions of the Democratic Party, and tonight's results could be consequential in the Democrats' efforts to take back the majority in the Senate. Joining us now, MS Now chief political reporter Chris Jansing. And Chris, I understand you're standing there with the candidate himself, Abdul El-Sayed. Take it away.
Yeah, he just bought a book for his daughters and some peaches and plums, I think. Abdul, it's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Look, I've been hanging around for the last couple of days. You went full out yesterday, final 24-hour push. You've got 4 stops today before you see whether you win or not. What do you do in these last 24 hours at what's been called the most consequential race of this cycle?
I mean, most of the argument has been made. We kind of put an exclamation point on it yesterday. Today, we enjoy the space at the end of the sentence and just get to enjoy what Michigan has to offer. We have the most beautiful summers in the country, and Eastern Market actually is a place that I used to come as a kid, so it's just nice to be here, hang out with people, enjoy the conversation, and then just also celebrate democracy, right? Like, today is Election Day. It's a beautiful thing that we get to do. We kind of take it for granted that's something we get to do, but I don't, and so I'm just honored to be able to enjoy Election Day with folks.
I saw you going door to door last night trying to convince people who weren't registered to register, because you do have same-day registration here. But let me tell you about an interview that my colleague Nnamdi Egawanu just did with Haley Stevens. She said, you have made this whole race about Israel and not Michigan.
Well, I would just say that the money that we send abroad to Israel is money that we don't keep here, to invest in our infrastructure here, and our schools here, and our healthcare here. I'm not the one running to send my tax dollars somewhere else. I'm the one running to keep it here. I'm not the one running with, $30 million of AIPAC spending, trying to send our money somewhere else. I'm the one running against that to keep it here. So it's nice to say I've made the whole race about something else. I'm just saying she wants to make her entire time in the Senate about something else. And at the end of the day, look, the conversation's been done. Voters are choosing today where they want to go. And I think it is time for us to bring the party together so that we make sure that we beat Mike Rogers in November. So I'm not interested in continuing to prosecute this race. I think we've said what we need to say. I'm interested in figuring out how to heal those divides.
So let's talk about both of those things. Mallory McMurrow, who dropped out of the race on July 5th, said she will come to whatever headquarters tonight is the winner and will work for them. We just heard from Haley Stevens, who said she will do whatever he would want me to do should he get the nomination. How do you bring the party together, and what do you say to Haley Stevens?
Look, I mean, I think all of us are united around the notion that we have to defeat Trumpism and defeat Mike Rogers.
You don't think there's a challenge in getting some of the people who really liked her, who think you're maybe too extreme?
Well, I think it's going to be all of us coming together to figure out how to make sure we all pull all of our supporters together. I think the other thing all of us have to realize is that whatever differences we have, and there might be some big differences, they're way smaller than the differences we have with Mike Rogers. I mean, this is a guy who literally introduced the legislation that would have added gas to the fire in the opioid pandemic. He's a guy who has never seen a corporate check he doesn't want. He's a guy who stands for all of the worst things of Trumpism or doesn't want to talk about them. And so our job is to make sure that we defeat him in the fall. And that's
you called him a generationally bad candidate? Was that the phrase?
Dude moves back from Florida, okay, where he made $14 million, still can't explain, probably trading off of his relationships from when he was in Congress. And then comes back here, loses while Donald Trump is on the ticket because he can't decide who he is. Is he a neocon from the 1990s? Is he a MAGA guy? Is he somebody who's caught in the middle? But he also he has the charisma of this floor, which is not very charismatic. So, look,
you're sounding very confident.
I'm looking forward to beating him by 7 in November.
So your campaign is putting out some numbers from the Secretary of State's office. Important to say this is from the Michigan Secretary of State. 18,386 voters who have cast absentee ballot, and there are 1 million votes already cast, many of them absentee, did not vote in the last 3 general elections. 53,000 have only voted in one of the last 3 elections. What does that say to you?
I've made the argument for a long time that the best way to understand this electorate is not as right versus left, and then we're in the middle and moderate. The best way to understand this electorate is one that has given up on the establishment of both sides of the party. I'm offering a politics where we get money out to put money back in your pockets and pass Medicare for all. I think a lot of people are resonating with that because they finally see somebody who's offering them something that's different than a politics as usual. And I'm hopeful that at the end of today and into November, we have the opportunity to bring them back, get them involved in our politics, and not just win a seat, but win the future that they need and deserve.
You don't take corporate money, but you are going to have a lot of money thrown at you if you win the primary.
Already
you
have,
know
Chris.
that. Already have 80. There's been like $80 million.
What's 80 million more? I mean, like, you know, at the end of the day.
But do you think that you'll get the support of the Democratic establishment? This has been called the most consequential, the most important. This has been called the marquee race of this election cycle. Do you think that those folks who very much were concerned about electability will put money into your campaign and not look elsewhere?
You know, we talk a lot about Democrats' worry and concern. The question for us is what we're going to do about it. And the best thing I know to do about it is to sign on up and get involved. We've got plenty of clipboards. We've got plenty of doors to knock. We've got plenty of opportunity to start reclaiming our future from what Donald Trump and Mike Rogers want. So for Democrats worried about electability, let's go out and get a Democrat elected in the fall.
And if you win tonight, what's job one for the next? How many weeks do you have to run the general?
There are 3 jobs. Number 1, continue to build a movement to get money out of politics, put money in pockets and pass Medicare for all. Number 2, unify people around that goal. And number 3, make sure everybody in the state understands the generationally corrupt candidate who we're running against in Mike Rogers and what he wants to do to rubber stamp a terrible Trump agenda.
Generationally corrupt. You've been very tough also on your opponents. Does politics have to be like that?
Trump has decided he wants politics to be like that. And let's be clear, what everybody's worried about is, oh, look what they're going to say about you. All right, listen to what I'm about to say about him. So look, we could be tough too. I think Democrats need to decide that we're going to be tough on the people who corrupt our politics and kind to the people who've been suffering for a very long time. That's what you're going to get with me every single day.
You've got another long day ahead of you. Thank you so much. And I'll just say that having gone to 2 polling places today and talked to a lot of people, even people who maybe were not voting for Abdul al-Sayed, they are looking for somebody who's going to make the lives better. And they're frustrated by the establishment that has not done that in their minds. So that's really where we are, Ariel.